but very long lasting. And speaking of long lasting, Boronia is not too bad. That's another Australian native.
Oh, we all love our Boronias.
Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that there. It's a very highlighted dark pink, and it just adds the magic touch to the arrangement. So it's a substitution for, let's say, baby's breath in a bouquet of red roses. That's what Boronia acts like when it comes to a bouquet of natives.
And of course, it's got that beautiful perfume mostly.
Yeah, well, that's not my perfume. It's the Verona.
Boronia. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Funny that you say it's not long lasting, because in the garden it's also not long lasting. It has a tendency to drop dead and.
Yeah, well, I mean, the sign of aging when it comes to Boronia. What's wrong with me today? I've eaten too much candy. So when it drops the beautiful petals, that's a sign of aging. So when you're purchasing it, make sure you put it upside down and you give it a very strong shake. And if nothing falls off, that's a sign of youth. I just wanted to mention, getting back to the King Protea, Nelson Mandela's favourite cut flower is King Protea.
Wow.
Yeah. So they love it in South Africa.
Oh.
Now, speaking of emblems, I've brought the Waratah with me. And yes, looks are deceiving.
It looks like it's going to last forever, and doesn't it? Because it's what's considered to be a hard flower, in the sense that the petals are hard. You can touch them and maybe not so. Yeah, they feel quite tough, really. It lasts forever.
Yeah, well, a sign of youth is that you need to squeeze the head like so, and if it's firm, that's a sign of youth, and if it feels weak, it's aging. Now, speaking of how long it lasts for, unfortunately, 5 days max. And as the red in colour starts to fade, and it also comes in white, so as the colour starts to fade out, that's also another sign of aging. And their leaves starts to curl inward as well. That's another sign of aging as well. Now, natives are woody stemmed, as you can see, and when cut flowers are woody, they drink twice as much, and sometimes even 3 times as much. They're waterholics.
Waterholics. Okay, so that goes for all the hard flowers, whether they're from South Africa or Australia.
Yeah, anything woody. You've got to monitor the water level in the vase, and change your water every second day, because when it comes to woody stems, this is a very important tip, blossoms. They don't like flower food water.
Wow.
Yeah, they don't. So if you're receiving a bouquet with that sachet attached to it, don't use it if you're enjoying your natives.
Okay.
Yeah, accelerates the aging process. Yeah. Now I've got Geraldine wax here as well, because that's another Australian native, as you can see here.
It's gorgeous. Comes in a lot of few colours, pinks and whites.
Have you seen it in orange?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, orange is spectacular, and blue. But obviously it's dyed.
Yeah. And
what do I mean by that? They don't spray them. They put the dye in the water, and the water then travels up the stem into the petal, and there you go.
Wow.
Yeah, just make sure that if you're purchasing Geraldine wax and it is dyed, and you can tell, you don't need a trained eye for it. Just make sure you glove up, because the stems then can get onto your hands, and if you're wearing white and you touch your clothing, it's going to stain. So just be very careful with that. And lastly, we've got leucadendron. Now, it also comes in variegated yellow and red, and the one that I'm holding in my hand is green with a sort of like a yellow tip there.
Yeah, is that just a immature flower, or is that the size it's going to get?
Oh no, that's
how it is.
That's how it is.
Okay.
Yeah, it won't
get any bigger.
Yeah, I've just snapped it off the main branch of the leucadendron.
Yes.
Because sometimes they come in clusters.
Understand.
And some just come in as individual flowers. But yeah, this is the snapped off version.
Sure.
But very long lasting, and it is South African blossoms. It's not Australian.
Okay. Now, a tip with hard stem flowers would be to recut the stems by 2 to 3 centimetres every so often. Yeah,
3 centimetres. Look, it is argued. They say 2 centimetres. I like to cut a little bit more.
Okay.
3 centimetres for me always. But you know, we've just gone through the list of what I've brought in this evening, but we've also got more of a list to go through. So Jealous Naulia is an Australian cut flower.
What a name.
That is spectacular. If you're after texture and something that looks a bit like an alien, oh my God, where did that come from? This is the cut flower to invest in.
Say that again.
Jealous Naulia.
Jealous Naulia.
Yeah, that's Australian. Yeah, it's so good. And Blushing Bride is another one.
Yes, Dracenocarpus. Yes.
Yeah, that's really, really nice in your wedding bouquets. Flannel flower is very obvious.
Very obvious.
Yeah. And
now, is flannel flower also thirsty? Or is
yes.
Ah.
Yes, it is. Yes. Good question, because it's not woody,
No.
but yes, it is very thirsty. Gaimea lily.
They are an enormous flower.
They look magnificent in corporate events, and they're very long lasting. They can last up to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and their leaves, used as foliage, are quite easy on the eye, and they're also long lasting. The leaves. Leptospermum.
Oh yes, the tea tree. Yes.
Yeah, that's
a nice flower. It's a nice
is.
little hard flower. Yeah.
Yeah, and another nice cut flower that's Australian is Dryandra.
Yes.
But I don't enjoy the foliage because
Very prickly.
Yeah, I cut myself all the time when I'm playing around with Dryandra. Yeah, so a lovely list. Golden Wattle just came and left. I'm so in love with wattle. And a lot to play with when it comes to Australian natives. So get out there, blossoms, and get floral.
Yes, but know your natives. Know the difference between South African and Australian natives.
Indeed, and I hope we've touched on that tonight.
I hope, well, we have indeed. Once again, Mercedes, it's been lovely having you in the studio to talk flowers.